Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the City Surrey Showcase, sponsored by the City of Surrey. In this series, we highlight the musical talent that we have here in the City of Surrey. My name is Keely Ramage-Scott, and today I'm really excited to be on location with Chris Young. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Awesome. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here. So you've got a long-standing history with music, as I understand. You started in bands, and you do a lot of engineering, you do producing. Tell me, just kind of take me from the beginning of where you started up until this point and what you're doing now.
So the very beginning starts when I was about 10 years old. I started playing guitar, taking lessons like most kids do when they're trying to learn music. After that, it really started to go in a very strong forward direction when I was doing school band, like high school jazz band at Semi Secondary.
Awesome.
The band program was really great there. So I learned a ton there, and then continued on from there into Nimbus School of Recording Arts for music production. And then learned a lot of the engineering side from that. Shortly after that, I joined the band Hawking, which at the time it was called Tommy Alto, but now it's Hawking. And that was my introduction to a band outside of the BC area. We got to tour all the way across Canada, throughout the States. So it was the first international music experience as well.
Cool.
And then now starting a new project with my buddy Riley called Without a Crown.
Awesome. Yeah, so you've got the band experience, you've got the behind-the-scenes experience, you've got the whole deal. So when did you first discover a passion for working with others on their projects, and what sort of engineering have you done so far?
It kind of worked out first working on my own stuff and then realizing that that just wasn't enough for me. I can only write so many things. So having other artists with their musical ideas come in for me to tackle the engineering and to make it sound as good as possible was a very good experience. The first band that I started doing another project for was another local Surrey band called Switch to Black.
Oh, yeah.
And so their first EP was my first step outside of my own music, recording someone else.
Cool. Yeah, I know Switch to Black. They've been all over the place before Curtis went down to college in the States, I believe it was.
Yeah, I think he went to Berkeley.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Some awesome. We love to hear about some awesome Surrey people getting those big opportunities.
Yeah.
So, who are some of your inspirations and influences when it comes to recording and your creativity?
For the engineering side is Nolly Get Good. He is the bass player and producer of the band Periphery. He's actually based out of the UK, but they're a US band. And he's kind of revolutionized a lot of the kind of engineering techniques in the modern progressive rock, progressive metal scene. And so I've taken a lot of inspiration from him. And then musically, lately it's been a lot of, it started off with classic rock bands, as a lot of people do. My dad grew up on Rush, and so I kind of grew up on Rush.
Yeah, totally.
Canadian progressive rock band. And then from that, it went to a lot of guitar-based bands. I don't like using that term, but instrumental bands that have a guitarist as the feature melody.
Yeah.
Intervals is another one, Polini, Jason Richardson, and so that's been my main musical influence.
Yeah. People say that we're losing guitar-based music and modern music, but I don't think that's true. You just have to look a bit harder to find the inspirations and find the bands that you're really interested in.
Exactly. It used to be where the guitar-based music was just a guy playing guitar with the most basic backing band.
Yeah.
But now it's like the drummer and the bassist are equally at the level of those guitarists, and it's kind of bringing in a new generation of guitar music.
I really love that, where everyone's working equally hard,
Yeah.
and you've got that finished project with the punchy mix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Punchy mix, that's what I go for.
And so what is your process? What does it consist of from writing all the way to recording in the studio?
For sure. For writing, I usually start with actually writing inside of the software program. That's kind of how I grew up writing. So I use that to jot all my ideas down. If it's another band I'm working with, I usually work with them again to create a demo inside Pro Tools, which is just a very rough version of the song. I've been really enjoying using a digital software drum program as well. That way I can program the drums without having to get an outside drummer come in yet. And then the artists, when they, or me, can record what they want to over top of a perfectly timed out drum take.
Yeah.
So that's a very important thing for me lately. And then after we have the demo done, usually I either track the final parts, either the final bass and guitar parts, which come first, over top of the program drums. And then after the fact, once the guitars are edited and all fine-tuned, bring a real drummer in, go to a studio, and finish tracking a real drum kit with a real drummer. And it tends to work out quite well because the real drummer has a really nice bass and guitar mix to work with in the studio instead of just having, a scratch guitar track that's kind of chopped up here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many new ways with technology that we can record. I've recorded so many different ways. I've recorded with the drummer live in the room where the whole band is playing along so we can get a feel. I've definitely heard of people doing what you do with the MIDI drums. I've recorded to a scratch track. There's so many different ways that you can do it now, and I think it's really cool that people all find their own technique and their own way of doing it with all these options.
Yeah, I've really embraced the software plugins that have been out there now, especially for the new guitar and amp modeling.
Yeah.
Having everything you need inside the computer that still sounds ridiculously good is something I really enjoy.
I love that. And what's one piece of advice that you'd give to somebody looking to get started in music?
Keep on working.
Yeah.
I've noticed that even though I work my hardest on something, I listen to it a few years in the future and kind of see where I came from. And 9 times out of 10, I realized I've learned so much just from doing the work over and over again.
Yeah.
From that one project before. So just constant practice and working and trying out new things, experimenting. That's definitely the best advice.
And of course, you're always your worst critic too, so you've got to keep that in
Exactly,
mind.
yeah.
And where can people find you online?
You can find me on my website, www.chrisyoungsound.com. And I also have Instagram, and that is @xtfr.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and I think you're going to play us a bit of a playthrough of something you've been working on.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode, and we're going to have Chris take it away in just a second here.
Hi, this is a song called Temporary off the new album from the band Without a Crown, who I had the pleasure of recording and also playing guitar on. Here it is.